Hey, what's going on out there? I would like to welcome every single one of you to Water Your Soil. So before I get into this video, I would like to say, if you're new around here, I have two rules over at this channel. The first rule is for you to always use your own discretion when it comes to credit cards and credit scores. The second rule is for you to verify everything that you learn, whether it's on this channel, another channel, or anywhere. That should be a rule of life. The main question that I have been asked on this channel over time is a question in regards to utilization, credit card utilization. And people often come by and they want to know, what should their credit card utilization be? Recently, I had someone come by and say, hey, if my credit card utilization is over 30%, what will happen to my credit score? And I get these questions often in regard to people wanting to know what their credit card utilization should be. And I'm not annoyed by the questions at all because I've been there before. I remember I was in that situation and I was learning about credit card utilization. It kind of confused me because I really didn't know what it was, but I wanted to learn more and more about credit card utilization. So I wanted to know what my credit card utilization should be. By the way, if you don't know what credit card utilization is, I'm going to do you a favor. And I'm going to link a video that I did breaking down credit card utilization and explaining it in the most simplest form that it is. So you can look in the description box below and you'll see that video. I'll put it in caps so you all can see. But that video breaks down and explains what utilization is in regards to credit cards. However, I'm not going to get into that in this video. And if you don't know what it is, you should check out that video. But I'm going to share a story in regard to credit card utilization. And this story relates to me. It doesn't relate to anyone else. And it has something to do with when I first started out on my journey. I remember when I first started out on my credit card journey, it was at the end of 2014. And I was trying to learn as much as I could about credit cards. And, you know, it was exciting. I was just learning and learning and learning and watching YouTube videos, reading articles on Google, going to the bookstore, going to Barnes and Noble. I was trying to learn as much information in regards to credit cards and credit scores as possible. And it was an exciting time for me. Of course, it was also a discouraging time. If you all are familiar with my story, which you all should be by now. But it was also exciting because I was like, wow, I'm opening up my mind to something that I had previously been ignorant about. Because I had a credit card back in 2006, but I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know about credit card utilization. All I knew is that you pay the credit card when you have a bill and you pay the minimum payment. And we all know that's not the way you go about doing it, but that's what I was doing. But to get a little bit into my story, I remember I would watch YouTube videos and I would see a video back then. It wasn't anywhere as near as many content creators back then in regards to credit cards and credit scores as there are now. But I would come across videos and I would often see content creators talk about utilization, and I really didn't understand it. I started to pick up and understand the basics of it, but I was still lost in regard to what my percentage should be. So I would read up on information. FICO back then, they were telling you 30%. So I was like, I'm not going to do 30%. I decided to go with 10%. This is back then when I first got my secured cards in 2015. This was early 2015. And I decided to go with the 10% initially. And I was just testing it out, 10%. I had 2 secured credit cards, and I made sure for each card, I kept my utilization at 10%. Now, I don't do it how a lot of people do it. A lot of people, they just spend on their card and they'll pay it down before their statement closes. I don't do that. What I do is I set a budget on my specific cards and I don't go over that budget. And my budget usually deals with 10% utilization for that specific card. So that's what I was doing back then. And I got good results. Of course, both of my secure cards ended up graduating. However, what I learned after that, and I got approved for unsecured credit cards with American Express and other banks, is I learned utilization is not a one-size-fit-all type of thing. It's actually something that has a lot to do with your credit limits, your credit report, as well as what works best for your credit report. And that's what I learned. I remember I started off testing my utilization at 10%. Then I switched from 10% to 8%. Then I switched from 8% to 7. Then I went to 5%. And then as I got more and more credit cards and my spending limits increased, I started to keep my utilization under 3%. I didn't have it at 0, but I kept it at 3%. And what I learned over time is that the lower I had it, the better. Now, that is not to say that that's what will work for you. And that's what I want to talk to you all about in regards to utilization. You come by and ask that question, like, what should it be? But my answer is always going to be the same. You have to test it out. A lot of you out there, you're afraid to test out your credit cards. You're afraid to do a lot of things on your own. You're like, oh, what if I make a mistake? It's going to damage my score. But to be truthfully honest with you, and I'm going to say this, and it may make some of you feel uncomfortable or it may make some of you upset, but I have to say it. When it comes down to it, the only way you're truly going to learn in regard to your credit report and your FICO credit score is for you to test it out. You can watch all the YouTube videos that you want. You could go on Reddit. You could listen to what people on Reddit and my FICO say. And you could go on all these different forums and sites and Facebook groups and Instagram, TikTok, wherever, and get information. But what it comes down to is your credit report is unique from everyone else's. And you have to figure out which utilization works best for you. The three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they say you'll get optimal results if you keep your utilization at 10% or less. But that doesn't mean you have to have your utilization at 10%. It could be less than 10%. A lot of you, you're so afraid to make that mistake that it's holding you from being able to increase your credit score and, of course, seek better results. But you have to take that risk. I had to take that risk back then. I didn't start seeing major changes until I took that risk and decided which utilization am I most comfortable with. Now, of course, a lot of this comes down to budget. It comes down to how many credit cards you have. It comes down to your credit limits. It comes down to whether or not you want to be the type who ignores the 10% utilization during your billing cycles and spend as much as you want to and just pay it down before your statement closes. Or if you want to do it the budget way, where you set a budget with your card and it's at the 10% utilization or less, and you don't go over that budget in regard to spending. It's all up to you. You have to make that decision. But at the end of the day, all of this comes down to your own decision making. And that is why I tell people in the beginning of these videos to use your own discretion when it comes to credit cards and credit scores. I know some of you hop over that and you ignore that, but I mean it. Use your own discretion when it comes to credit scores and credit cards. That's really the best way to learn. And you can't be afraid to learn that way. You have to test it out, see what works best for you. That's the best advice that I could give you, honestly, in regards to credit card utilization and everything else. You can learn as much as you want. You could be on forums all day. You could be on YouTube all day watching videos. But until you actually go out there and get dirty, meaning go out there with your credit report and participate and test things out and see how it works, you're really not going to know your optimal results. You could listen to person A or person B and your person C, and your results may be totally different from person A and B. And that's why I always tell you all, use your own discretion. I know some of you have got offended in the past and you think I'm being a jerk to you when I tell you use your own discretion, but I'm doing it to help you out. And in the end, you will be happy that you did decide to test it out and use your own discretion, because ultimately your credit report and your credit score doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect other YouTubers or anyone else. It comes down to you and it affects you. And that's why you have to do more than just read about it or hear about it. You actually have to apply what you learn. But I wanted to make this video because people, they always come by and ask me about credit card utilization. Hey, how much should I spend? Hey, what should my spending limit be? Hey, if I spend this amount with this credit limit, you think it's going to hurt my score? There's only one way to really find out. I do not know what's on your credit report, but you do. And there's only one way to find out. Go out there, get dirty, and test it out. But anyways, if you're new over here, this is Water Your Soil. If you're feeling the vibe, be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications. That way you don't miss a future video because I post often. Also, this goes to every single one of you, my subscribers included. Be sure to hit the like button. It literally takes seconds. Hit the like button. That's your way of showing support. It lets the algorithm know you support this video. Hey, I think other people need to watch this video because they need to know it's time for them to test things out on their own. Also, if you want to be a member of this channel, hit the join button because being a channel member, you get to watch these videos before they premiere and you get comment priority over everyone else as well as some other things. But anyways, I appreciate every single one of you for stopping by and watching. This is Warriors Soil and I'm out. Hold on. Wait. Before you leave, be sure to check out the description box below. That way you can have all the credit resources from Water Your Soil. Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button as well, all right? In the description box below, I always tell people, check out the description box below for extra resources from Water Your Soil. Part of the description box also showcases my book that I have. I have a book. It's been out for a while now. It's been out for years. It's titled Strategies to Master Credit. The book is available. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble. Most online bookstores have the book. And the book is basically about how FICO credit scoring works. Once you understand how FICO credit scoring works, you're pretty much on your way to helping yourself build, develop, and maintain a good credit score. So check the book out whenever you get a chance.